Hey guys, today we are going to learn about Aboriginal art. We're going to focus on Australia for our next project. So, if at any time you guys need to pause this video to catch up, you can do so. You should be taking notes as you go along. So, when was Aboriginal art? Aboriginal art dates back as far as 40,000 BCE. And its oldest form of art was made out of rock. However, dot paintings originated 48 years ago, back in 1971. So we are going to be focusing on dot paintings. Dreamtime. So instead of writing down their stories, like we would write down, like for a book, Aboriginal people would tell their stories orally. So they would tell their stories out loud. Some of you may have told a story out loud in drama class before. So they would not write down their stories. They had no record of them since they would only tell them out loud. I don't know if you guys have ever played telephone, but sometimes it can get a little stray from what the original story was. As Aboriginal men told the stories, they would draw symbols in the sand. So they used these dot paintings in order to disguise the sacred meanings behind the stories in the paintings. So there were meanings behind the symbols in the sand because symbols are used to symbolize something. So a symbol stands for something else. So if I were to say the shape heart, what would a symbol for a heart be? Love. So you guys might have thought of love. If I were to do a happy face, you guys might think happy. If I were to say the sun, you guys might think warm, bright, happy. So they used a lot of symbols to tell stories. They abstracted their paintings to disguise these sacred designs so the real meanings couldn't be understood. So, for example, they might use a boot to symbolize something not related to a boot at all. So they abstracted their paintings to disguise the sacred designs. So only their people could read these stories. The works were visual reminders of their own being. They painted the land that they belonged to and the stories that are associated with those sites. So in the beginning, Aboriginal people would smooth over the soil to draw sacred designs that belonged to that particular ceremony. Body paint was also applied to their people, which held meanings that connected to their sacred rituals. These designs were outlined with circles and encircled with dots. So their dot paintings were on people and on the land as well. They had multiple mediums that they used for their dot paintings. Uninitiated people didn't get to see the sacred designs since the soil was smoothed over again and the painted bodies would be washed. This wasn't possible with paintings, obviously, which is why they decided to do these dot paintings on the soil or on the bodies, because it wasn't permanent and they wanted to get rid of it. That way people who weren't supposed to see it didn't. Originally, the colors were restricted to red, yellow, black, and white, which were produced from natural materials. However, later, acrylic mediums were introduced to allow for more vivid, colorful paintings. So, like for the body paint. They would use symbols to tell a story in their paintings. So, for example, this squiggly line, it looks like a worm to me, but to them, that could be their symbol for fire. These little macaroni-looking things could be a symbol for people dancing. So again, they didn't have the exact symbol for what they were trying to draw. So, for example, this looks like a rainbow to me, but for them it was a cloud. They did not want people to recognize what they were drawing. So, number one, this is kind of like an example of a sand painting that they would do. So, this would be wiped away at the end of their ceremony. That way, nobody ever saw it. Obviously, this is an example of that. So, number one, these things are a symbol for fire sticks. Number 7, I'm going to skip to number 7. So, this is an example of a river. What's number 15? A water hole. Number 14, this is an object that they would use, so maybe a tool. Sticks and branches, number 8. So notice how they just use different abstracted shapes that didn't actually represent that. The color might be accurate, but the shape is not necessarily. So like these don't necessarily look exactly like sticks and shapes. These don't look like watering holes, but that's what they're a symbol for. Women with digging sticks. So this doesn't look like a person at all, but that is a symbol that they used for that person. And then there are my sources. So you guys will be writing in 3-minute increments about the following things. So if you scroll down to the second page of your note sheet, you will see that there are different writing prompts. I am going to set a timer for 3 minutes. 3 minutes. This says 5 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and reduce that a little bit. So, your first writing prompt. What was your favorite childhood toy? Where were you when you played with this toy, and how old were you? So you guys are just going to be writing and writing and writing. This is kind of going to help brainstorm for your project. So I'm setting the timer now. You guys can begin writing. So what was your favorite childhood toy? How old were you? What did it look like? Why was this your favorite childhood toy? Keep writing. Add as much detail as you can. You guys have about 2 minutes left. Please ignore my dog in the background. What color was your favorite toy? Do you still have this toy? I don't know, it might be in storage somewhere. So you guys are explaining as much as you can. You have 1.5 minutes left. Okay, and pause. Your next writing prompt. What is your favorite holiday and why? So I'm setting the timer and go. So what's your favorite holiday and why? Do you have specific traditions? Do you see your family? If you don't celebrate a specific holiday, you could talk about when your family gets together or when your friends get together. Do you have specific traditions that you follow? What do you eat during these times? Is there anything specific that you eat? Do you wear something specific? Do you get dressed up? Where do you go? Is there a person's house that you normally go to? So you're writing about your favorite holiday or gathering. You have about 1 minute left. Keep writing. You have about 30 seconds. Make sure you're adding detail and explaining. Talk me through what this day looks like. And pause. Your last writing prompt. What is your favorite season and why? So I'm setting the timer now. So your favorite season, do you like fall, spring, summer, winter? And why do you like this season? What activities do you do during this season? What is the temperature like? Are there activities that you do during this season and that's why it's your favorite? Oh, that was for the last one. I apparently hit the snooze button and not the stop. So keep writing. What is your favorite season and why? You have about 1 minute left. And pause. Okay, guys, so good job on taking your notes. Tomorrow we're going to be filling out a brainstorm sheet. Yeah, have a good day.